Sound the horn, ladies and gentlemen. It is another day of Ragnarok. We are here in Selenopolis to talk about moon dust. Now, when it comes to moon dust, so we've talked about the REAVER gear and how you get that. We've talked about the Darkmoor gear, how to get that, etc., etc. But my ass almost forgot about one of the other gear sets that you can get through that world system, basically. That is moon dust here in Selenopolis. Now, if you're new to the game for some reason, if you're someone that's on console, or someone who's just getting back into the swing of things, Selenopolis is a subsection within Krakatopia, which you can get access to it twice, kinda. Because the first time is after you beat Malister, Drake, and Dragonspire. The prerequisite to get to Celestia is by coming here to Selenopolis, going to the Blended Grove over here, way over there, and learning about the weaving system. The other time is after you beat Wallaroo, which is the end of Arc 4. And then you come to Selenopolis to do the actual storyline of the world. So when it comes to the moon dust, various ways to get it is to go to the relevant bosses of the world, such as Khonsu, Loon Knight, all of them, and just fight them a lot. And moon dust is basically the world reagent for this place. Like outside of Relic for Darkmoor, Dreamwater for Wallaroo, moon dust is for Selenopolis. Now this sigil right here, the Celestial Pyramid, this is where you fight the Loon Knight. And I'll be honest with y'all, this is the place that I recommend because, yes, it's kind of an annoying fight, but it's not as annoying as Khonsu. Khonsu isn't like a hard fight per se. However, the polymorph chi is kind of annoying, kind of a pain to deal with. This is where you fight Khonsu. Now, I will say this. Make sure you grab a group of friends for this, because the content is actually kind of tough. More annoying than tough, but, you know, it's faster with friends. Especially because the recommended method that I use to get this moon dust is challenge mode Loon Knight. The reason why is because that is the easiest fight of them that you could actually reasonably, you know, get through relatively easily. With a full group, though, you could get through challenge mode Khonsu. Now, I did try and verify some stuff with this. Let me tell you, challenge mode Khonsu is mathematically impossible to solo. It legit cannot be soloed. Reason why is because the polymorphs. When you get polymorphed, you lose your stats because you're going through the polymorph. So your health is different, your resist is different. Like, it doesn't matter what gear you wear for the most part. Especially because if you're solo, the unpolymorph mechanic does not work as intended. Because the way that the polymorph is supposed to work is, depending on how many wizards there are, then that's how many people and how many times you have to meet the gambit of the polymorph properly to then get unpolymorphed. However, knowing that, that means that you should meet the gambit twice, or possibly even both wizards have to do it to then get unpolymorphed. 3 people, then it's 3 times, or all 3 people, etc. If you go in solo, this does not work. You will literally just get polymorphed into a different form, and this loops until you die. Because since you cannot get unpolymorphed, you cannot use your deck, you cannot use your stats. It literally changes everything. So don't do Khonsu unless you have friends, because yeah, standard mode's pretty easy to solo. You just beat the gambit, escape, then you just, you know, hit them like a motherfucker. But challenge mode Khonsu, bring friends, because it's mathematically unsoloable. Loon Knight, you would really have to know what you're doing to be able to solo challenge mode, so I recommend doing all Selenopolis farms with friends, with a group. Like, no matter what. Just because it's the easiest way to do it. There's probably strats out there somewhere. I don't have the strategies on me, but I'm sure somebody does. Now, once you get through the challenge modes, maybe you want the badges if there's any, maybe you just want the materials, you would come over here towards the Market of Ideas. You don't want to go in it. And over here, there is a trader here named Kala. And then you are going to see Avatar's gear set, Khonsu's gear set, and reagents. Now, you could turn your moon dust into parchment, but you do need to complete all the Selenopolis challenge modes to be able to unlock the use of this transmute, which I have not done yet. Which, maybe at some point, I'll probably see if I can get anyone to like, help me get those badges and do all that. But until then, I don't have access. The Avatar gear here, this is the bread and butter of the Selenopolis stuff. The Avatar gear, this is your proper hitting gear. So for people who are like going for good damage, maximized damage stats and everything, the Avatar set is the hitting gear. And as you can see, it's actually not super bad. Like, it could be better, but it could be worse. Compare it to REAVER, and you'll kind of see what you like better. I will say, though, I think that the Avatar gear is the easier farm to do. Because REAVER gear, it's a pain in the fucking ass, let me tell you. I do not recommend doing the REAVER farm too much. If anything, I'd rather you do the Selenopolis stuff and just go to Loon Knight and spam him to get your moon dust. Now, if you want to go for all the badges, go for it. Again, make sure you have a group, considering one fight is entirely unsoloable. But yeah, I'm just kind of going through the gear here a little bit, just right quick. And the gear's actually pretty passable. Like I would say it's good enough to use. Obviously, you know, it's basically a similar template to what we already know. It's just a 170. But let's say you get Merciless, stuff like that. If you don't want to wait till Abomination, I recommend Avatar. Like, because, okay, my personal flow that I would recommend is once you get your Merciless gear, skip Aeon, and then once you get to 170, skip REAVER, and if you happen to get a REAVER piece through questing, cool. But I recommend skipping the REAVER farm and going straight to Avatar. It's just the easier way to go, in my opinion. I'm just kind of looking at all the gear here just to kind of show up that it exists, what jewel slots it has, whether it's worth it or not. I would say it's pretty passable. This could definitely get you through Darkmoor so that you can go and get your Abomination. So there is that. As for the Khonsu, this is more of your defensive / support gear. So if you know Abomination as the hitting gear for Darkmoor and Monster Hide as the support, Khonsu is basically the Monster Hide but Selenopolis. Basically. And then the Avatar is basically Abomination, but it's in Selenopolis and it's 170. So it just really kind of depends on what you're looking for when it comes to the gear. If you're a hitting school, you don't really want to go for Khonsu. If you're a support school, you could actually get away with it. Yeah, that's basically that. So when it comes down to it, what I recommend is doing challenge modes because you get like double or even triple the drop rate of everything. Gear, moon dust, spell limits. I recommend bringing a group of friends, at least 3 people, but I'll recommend 4. I like a full team. Just go and do Loon Knight for the main farming, or if you want all the badges, then you can just go and get all the badges, and that should be good enough. But if not, if you go and get all your badges and you still need more, just spam Loon Knight. So that's what I recommend. Now this one was not super long, and the reason why is because the actual tech of it is actually not as complicated. So now that we've covered every single one of the world reagents of the modern day, here is the flow I recommend. I recommend going to Lemuria and farming the Merciless gear or the crafted alternative. I recommend skipping the Aeon gear entirely. Just don't even do it. I only say that because Aeon's not bad. I mean, the Stitch looks pretty cool, but that's about it. When you get to 170, I recommend just coming to Selenopolis and doing all that for the Avatar gear. Because in my opinion, the farm is just not as much of a pain. Like, I'd rather do Khonsu 15 times than do even Nightmare once. Like, I still have the quest to do the Nightmare. This right here. I still haven't done it because I refuse to. Because why the hell would I subject myself to that? And then if you do decide to get the Avatar gear, then obviously at Darkmoor, that's the max level. now you're obligated to get the max level gear because that's the correct max. But either way, that's gonna do it for this one. This one was pretty simple, not too complicated. You saw I had like what, 22, something like that. Let me just go back one more time just to see how much moon dust it costs. Yeah, so it costs 37 moon dust. So you can get that within probably a badge or two, something like that, maybe a badge and a half. But then you do need the parchment and ancient scroll, which quite literally, the hub here in Selenopolis has 2 different squares, like square quadrants, like square areas that drop a absolute shit ton of it. So yeah, when it comes to parchment, this hub area here, just spend an hour or 2 in here and then you can just get it, especially during double reagents. If it is double reagents at the time, just spend like 2 hours here. You'll get your ancient scrolls and parchment. You'll get it. Trust me. You just gotta have patience and just be locked in. But that's gonna do it for this one, y'all. I hope you found this one a little bit helpful. I know I couldn't really go into the fights, but that is the verdict. Is spam Loon Knight when you get your badges. Otherwise, get your badges first and bring a full group. Because my recommendation is challenge mode. Because you only get like a couple of moon dust per kill in standard mode. I recommend doubling or even tripling your drop rate just by going into challenge mode. And on top of it, you could even get your gear during the farm too. So if you happen to get any of your gear during your badge collection, then that is another piece you do not have to use moon dust on. So, hey, there you go. But that's going to do it. I'm going to call it here. If you found this helpful, hit the likes, hit the comments, hit that subscribe button. We have hit past 750 subscribers on the channel now. We are 3/4 of the way to our lifetime goal of 1,000 subscribers. It would be the first time in our lives that we ever do it. Till next time, my name is Tier, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.